Hello everybody, welcome back to, I forgot what I'm calling this series. We're on a newer world. I was just messing around making sure all my schematics still work and all. Anyway, I built a nice little construction area over here where we're going to be doing our new build. So we're going to need some, let's take some spruce, some spruce planks. We're also going to need some. We're also going to need. Let's just grab our little spruce door and just some glass. And just some regular old glass. There we go. We're also going to need a bit of cobblestone. And we're also going to need some rails. And there we go. We have a nice little 22 by 16 area, which is sufficient for what we want to do. So first things first, let's just pick a corner. What we want to do is we want to make this thing 11 blocks long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, what am I doing? I'm being silly. Why am I even breaking the blocks if I could just place them on top? That it makes it easier to make a schematic. So let's just put the cobblestone right there for right now. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. And then we want to go over 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Now let's go ahead, do the exact same thing over here and here. Don't worry, we'll make it look nice later. Now what you gotta do is you gotta go around to your corners and do this. The cobblestone is meant for like laying out the groundwork for you to build your thing, or as little support pylons. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go up another, I think it was 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then over here another 1, 2, 3, 4. And right here another 1, 2, 3, 4. I am surprised how smooth everything is running, by the way. And over here another 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, but let's go ahead and add the blocks for some detail. So, just like so. And if you hadn't guessed already, we are building a log cabin. It's a very easy structure to build. You could use any wood. Only reason why I'm using spruce is because you find a lot of spruce in like wintry biomes and stuff like that. You also find some fir trees as well, so you could use that as well if you wanted to. And then up here, just got to do another frame of spruce. And this is a very vanilla friendly build I'm doing, so you don't need a mod pack to make this build. You can make this in your normal world. So there we go. And now that we got that, we can do something like this if we wanted to, add a little bit of detail, make it look like just a bunch of logs stacked on top of each other, which they usually are. Let's go ahead and fill this in let's fill it in completely, but only temporarily, with spruce logs, just so we can spruce logs, but spruce planks. There we go. And if you wanted to be extra fancy with it, you can make the windows using spruce stairs, but then you'd also have to make glass panes, which are also very easy to make early on in the game. So just fill this in. There we go. It don't look like much, but it's something. I'm still amazed at how smooth everything is running. But I am on a super flat world, so. Anyway, next step of the process is a very simple one. Let's add some logs like so. Well, not logs, but planks like so. There we go. And then do the same thing over here. Oops. There we go. And now we got the basic structure of our build going. I wonder what the button is to get rid of the HUD. Is it F1? Yep, it is. Okay, so here's just the basic structure of our build. I mean, the rails are not necessary whatsoever, but they are for decorative purposes, and I'll show you those decorative purposes later. So let's go ahead and continue with our construction. Okay. Let's go ahead, bring it up by 1, like so. And this is basically how you're going to build your roof, just by laying logs along the top of it. And let's expand this up by 1 just so it looks a little neater. But if you wanted to make it a little simpler for yourself, you could also just get rid of these entirely, which also works. But they also make a good starting point. So what you could theoretically do, if you want to keep them, is you can break this and do that, but then it just looks weird. So just do that and that. There we go. There we go. Break that. I'm expanding them out by 2 because that allows for a little bit more room of decoration if you want to add them. Especially if you have immersive weathering installed and you set this up in a like snowy taiga biome, you'll get icicles forming on it. So let's go ahead, place that there, place that there, and just build out like so. Oops. And there we go. There we go. There we go. do this. There you go. I went out 2 over there, so let's bring these out by 1 more. And the same dealio over here. So yeah, so now you understand why this is a cabin best meant for building in a biome where you have plenty of these trees, because as you can already see, you need plenty of the said type of wood and the logs of that type of wood to use and to make your structure with. So there we go. And there we go. I'm building this completely off of memory, so if it's not 100% perfect, I'm just going to blame my memory for it. Because I did see little blueprint online to build one of these things a while back, and I'm just running off of, like I said, the memory of it. And there we go. Guess you could just add these little logs back. But you don't have to. Now let's go ahead, take a look at what we have thus far. It's coming along nicely, if I do say so myself, and I do. Like I said, the 2 out is completely optional. You can also just do 1 out like this if you want it more symmetrical with the little logs down here. But then it just will look weird when you do that. But that's just my personal preference. If you want to do it that way, it's completely up to you. I'm just giving you guys the base work of how to craft one of these structures. For a second I thought that was a mushroom, but no, that's just a schematics table. So let's designate this the entryway. So we're going to want to take, and this is where you would have your cobblestone, if you're doing the cobblestone layout of the structure. But that is not necessary at this point. There we go. And if you want to, you could do something like this. Which would also work out because it could be just some logs you stacked on top of each other for this. So this is what we're gonna go with. And if you want it to be extra fancy, you could take an axe. Doesn't matter what axe, as long as it's an axe. And you could just strip these logs right here. But only if you want to. Or if you don't want to go the extra mile with the added logs, because it might conflict with a build, with the design you have in mind, you can always just do the basic and just crack these things open for the windows. So let's go ahead and add the glass of our first 2 window panes. And there you go. So let's... I like the sunlight to beam in, so we have plenty of natural light. So over here we're just going to make this wall just a major window. But of course you don't have to do with this. I'm just doing this because I want to. You can also leave this entire back wall blank if you wanted to. You can also do some fancy like window designs if you want to. Like, you got plenty of room to do so. Let's do like a little arched window dealio here. And you could have this as like your dedicated like kitchen area for plenty of natural lighting. And this could be your little dining area. So, we're now on the inside of our house. We have plenty of options how we can do this. One good option if you want as much head space as possible is using some oak slabs. Not oak slabs, spruce slabs. S-P-R-U-C. Here you go, some spruce slabs. And you could do this if you want to make like a quaint little staircase that leads upwards. Yes, it basically takes up this entire section of wall. But you can always make this work in your favor if you do stairs system like that. So let's go ahead, do that. And there you go. That's a very simple way of getting yourself a second floor. Okay, yeah. So, and you could add like two pieces, you could add two slabs back here just so you have a little nook. So it's not just like straight up hole to the ceiling up here. And now let's go ahead, add another window up here. If you want to, you don't have to. A good example of what I was talking about with the stairs is like I did with my castle, my little starter castle, is you could always do something like, not like, here we go. It works better if you go from the outside. But of course in survival you wouldn't be doing it like this. I mean, you could add a little dent in if you wanted to, but that don't look nearly as nice. So definitely don't do it there. But you can do it like here, for instance, using the stairs as a little window frame. But it looks weird if you do it all the way across, unless you want like some of your oak to show. More power to you. Not oak. Why did I keep calling it oak? Spruce to show. More power to you and stuff like that. There you go. Only difference is with this one you'd have to use glass panes instead of glass blocks, but those are simple to get. Or if you want to be a bit extra fancy, what you could do is make a quaint little balcony out here. Let's add some upside down stairs. Like such. But if you do want to do this, it's better if you do the double. There you go. So now you got yourself a quaint little balcony. You got yourself your windows. You have this whole back area you could still do something with, but we will get to that in a minute. Yeah, let's. There we go. There we go. That don't look good. I thought it would, but it doesn't. So I'll keep these other ones longer though. So there you go. Now let's go ahead break these down. Lower the ceiling a bit since we have decided we're going to be putting a door here. And then back here, let's just do something like this. And just fill it in with some windows. And if you want to get fancy with it, you want to make it, if you're running with shaders or something like that, and you want to make it a bit nicer looking, or a little disco up here, you can obviously just replace those with the stained variants of the windows, so you can get your hands on some interesting lighting in here. And now here's what we got going so far. Oops, I forgot to leave this one longer. There we go. Okay, we're going to want some... perfect. Some strip... well... could use these, but these are added by Quark. So let's do two variants of it. We have this variant right here, which will be with the spruce fencing, and let's grab a quick cobblestone wall as such. So here's the one with the spruce poles that are added by Quark. Doesn't look nearly as nice as I expected it to. Because it does have a gap, and I guess you could do that, but then don't look nearly as nice. You could extend this. Okay, yeah. You can extend it out a little more. Off to the sides a bit more. There we go. Now let's go ahead and add this other slab, but you can also just replace these with full-on blocks as well. Here's it with the spruce pole, added by Quark. on top of a cobblestone wall. And here's what it looks like with spruce fencing. So I definitely like the way it looks with quark. But you can always just do it like this if you don't have quark installed. And then you could add a little railing over here so you don't fall off. And there you go. And then you're also never really stepping out into the rain. But for the sake of the build and because I like the way it looks, we're going to add 2 poles from quark of the strip variety. So, and this is the build we got going for us at the moment. Let's go ahead and light up the inside of this real quick with, you'll probably already have at least found some iron or something at this point, so let's go with a lantern. Just a regular old lantern. And the best part is, these also work as a heat source, so if you are playing, I should probably, there you go. If you are playing with a mod like, what's it called again? Tough as Nails, these will keep your home nice and toasty. Unfortunately, you don't really have much choices for wall lanterns. You can't really just hang these off the wall. Let me just place the lantern down here in the middle so we can see. Oh wow, that's almost exactly dead center. Actually, nah, because it is dead center over here. It's only not dead center because that's an even side. So let's go ahead, add the lanterns. You can always do a little something like this. Put a little fence in the corner and have it hang down like that. Or you could do like what we did before and add another slab, or just do this entirely out of a single block of plank and hang it like so. So let's just go ahead and hang the lights in the 4 corners of this building, just so we have sufficient lighting in here for the time being. And besides, it doesn't really impact your ability to climb up. Maybe if you add the lantern, yeah, the lantern kind of blocks your way, so maybe not add a plank there, or a full-on log. Well, obviously not log, but you know what I mean. Let's go corner, corner, corner. Go. Or you could just do that if you like keeping things like orderly. And you could use this little section for like a plant or something. Now let's go ahead and set up a basic kitchen. You know, no, let's not do a kitchen. Let's work on the floor first. I am supremely surprised at how smooth everything is running. So let's go ahead and put in our floor. We're not going to go too crazy with the flooring. We're just going to go ahead and do this. Just as basic as possible. So, as you can already tell, the home is feels a bit warmer, more cozy now. And you have plenty of room to do as you please. Let's go ahead and hang up a few lanterns in here. So now you should be nice, you should have sufficient light, and you can easily use this upstairs area as a bedroom. Um, you could also use it as a storage area if you wanted to. Um, and of course, you could always do your other things down here, like you could set up one area to be an enchanting area, and another area to be like your dedicated crafting and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and add, just like I said, the basic kitchen. And we'll also grab these two in our inventory. And when I say basic kitchen, I mean basic Minecraft kitchen. So vanilla. As vanilla as possible, at least. Well, actually, completely vanilla. So what you're going to want is a smoker. And of course, a crafting table. And maybe a cauldron for washing your dishes. So cauldron. Whoops. There we go, cauldron. Yeah, my dyslexia was acting up hard right there. Okay, it's a redstone block too. So just that, and boom. Just your basic kitchen ready to go. And if you wanted to, you could set up like another separate corner down here. You could set up as your dedicated like smelting area, so blast furnace. There you go. So you could just do all your ore smelting there. Let's set up a vanilla friendly seating arrangement. So we already have the stairs. We also have the fence, and I think it's usually a pressure plate of the spruce variety. So just, you know, cute little setup like this. And obviously you could go ahead and add some signs, and if you want to add a bit of pop of color, you could just do regular old, you know, just regular old oak signs. or a slightly different coloring. There you go. And your basic Minecraft seating arrangement is good to go. So now you could melt down all your ores, you could cook up your food. If you wanted to, you could add a little extra brewing station over here. You know, with a nice little lookout. Now let's go upstairs and do a little work on this room. Let's go ahead, add some glass, some smaller glass windows on this side. Let's go ahead and add some storage as well, so just some chests. There you go, and then so you got some storage going for yourselves. Let's go ahead and actually add the bed itself. A quaint little double bed. Simple as that. And maybe a regular old furnace just to add some more warmth to the area. Now let's add a stone wall to make it look like a little chimney. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 in from the actual wall over here. So 1, 2. Okay, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope I placed that in the right spot. An easy way to do, let me just go ahead and break this real quick. I was off by 1. So do that. Get the spruce logs back. And there we go. And there we go. It's a very basic chimney. I mean, I'm not the best at making chimneys. I mean, I do have this, a chimney block. But that's not very vanilla friendly. Do something like that. What is the recipe for a chimney block? And I mean, just in general, for me to figure out what mod adds a chimney block. I good crafting table. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, it's called an uncrafting table. It's added by Twilight Forest. Oh, so this is from Dungeons content, okay. That explains a lot. Okay. So yeah. Then definitely you have no need to add this unless you have the Dungeons content going. So just do your regular old thing you can do. Maybe if you want to, you could make it a little fancy by just replacing it like so. Then adding a few slabs of cobblestone, C-O-B-B-L-E, cobblestone slabs. And some cobblestone stairs, cobblestone stairs. Like so. But do bear in mind, I am not very good at this type of detail work, so if it's a little unruly or unsightly, I do apologize for that. I know there's probably a bunch of people out there that know how to do chimneys better than I do, but this is just a general example. So let's get campfire. Just to get that little smoke going. It don't look too bad. And there you go. It's not much, but it is relatively easy to do early on in the game, because you'll most certainly have all these materials. Only thing you won't have is obviously the poles, but those are from Quark, and I would definitely recommend that even if you don't want to play a mod pack, one mod I would definitely suggest you guys get is Quark, because it adds a bunch of quality of life stuff, including a whole bunch of different colored chests and all. But yeah, this is basically a fully functional house, so I mean, of course, you could get some furniture mods involved as well and really do something crazy. So let's now just add this out here. Like I said, this is not entirely necessary. You don't necessarily need this. But if you just want to add a little bit of theming to your little log cabin, you could do this. And this is why you needed the rails. There you go. Oh, there they are. Two basically just tie to act as little tie downs for your build, just so that they don't get blown away when another snowstorm blows through. And what you could do probably with the back of this hut if you wanted to is you could make a little back door. Yeah, it'll work. You can make a little back door right here. That lets you go out all the way over here. And you can just go ahead and take these campfires if you want to. And make yourself a nice little outdoor work area. Obviously, you're going to put out the campfires. I don't want to build it out too much, so let me grab a water bucket real quick. Water bucket. There you go. Let's just go ahead and do spruce fencing back here. And then obviously the stone wall. Go. Now the little cobblestone walls. And let's just put a log right here with a little glowing item frame. Interesting. A little item frame with a axe in it. Why am I searching an axe? I already have an axe. And there you go. So you got your little wood chopping station for the firewood. Let's go ahead, add the door here. And now I'm just going to add some details I like. There we go. And voila. It's quaint, it's cozy, and you can definitely improve upon this with a bunch of furniture mods. If you guys want me to do a little side episode where I improve on this thing with some of the furniture mod items I have in this mod pack I've been working on, or any other like cosmetic blocks, please do let me know down in the comments section. I know this was a lengthy video, but I thought it was important so you guys can at least learn how to make a relatively simple little spruce cabin. And of course, you can always just change if the wood is interchangeable. You don't need to use spruce or anything like that. great, there's some schmutz here. So, now what we can do, there's a reason why I did it like this. Oops. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but this is what you'd usually be looking at, so I think I already showed that. Now let's go ahead and just make a quick schematic of this. I did my best to build within the lines, but that's also why I have this little grid set up here. Boom. And there we go. And good, the chimney's properly in there now. So now let's just make this winter cabin, and boom. So in total, to make this beauty, let me grab the schematics cannon. And then just a empty schematic. That's a 22, so that was a 22 by 16 area we were just working in. There we go, winter cabin, do that. Okay, so I thought it was, okay, anyway. Book. Just regular old book. So, it's 5 pages, so you don't necessarily need the 4 blast furnaces, that's just what I use, so, but just alone for the house itself, if you just want to make the basic house and decorate how you want, just this specific variant. But I would suggest using windows, so you'll need at least 39 glass if you want to fill up with windows, but it's not necessary. Let's see, so here we go. You're going to need 5 doors if you want to do it the way I did, or just a single door, or 2 doors, however you want. You're going to need 291 spruce logs, you're also going to need, if you want to do a little slab roof like I suggested, because it gives a little bit more headspace, but it's not necessary. If you do not put the slab roof, you still have plenty of headroom, and in fact you can also just hang stuff straight from that slab roof, but it might not look as nice. So just interchange the spruce slabs with just spruce planks in general. So for the spruce planks, you are going to need 93 plus 92. Let me do some quick math right here. Okay, 93 plus 92. So I need about 185 slabs, not slabs, spruce planks. So in total, what you need is 185 spruce planks, at least 2 spruce doors if you want to go in and out and make it look somewhat decent, or 1 if you want to go in from the side, because then you can just center it like that. And you're also going to need 291 spruce logs. So yeah, just the basics right there. I mean, you could. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 4 is 16. You could knock 16 off if you don't want to add this, but if you do, it's the 200 some odd, like I said. And this is now, basically, it's now done. Oh, and I also changed a few things around. This is now Bucky, and this one's Freya. And it turns out, if I found this out, if you have creatures inside the schematic, like I have right there. Let me go ahead and grab the schematic again. Where is it? It was further up, right here. If they're in the schematic, I'm not sure if it will work in survival, but if you have the schematic right here, let me actually lower this down a little bit just for the sake of it. And print. It actually puts the exact same creatures and their names. Now let me try that again. There we go. And if I now give this over to the thing, I wonder what the new material list is aside from, okay, so of course it's got some apple crates now. Okay. It doesn't mention anything about like a spawn egg, which is pretty cool. So now that we have that, let's just give it some gunpowder. And then sorry if I'm going off on a tangent. The video is actually over if you just want to watch the build. But if you want to just stick around for like another few. Okay, it's already started. I didn't even give it any gunpowder yet. No, wrong button. Config, server, schematics canon. There we go. Save. Just so it builds a bit quicker. And if you want to know how to build this structure, I have a video of it on my channel already. Okay, so that figures. So now, note to self, and note to any of you guys who want to use my mod pack and just want to spawn these structures with your creative in creative mode, you'll get Bucky and Freya to pay you a visit. And I just need to build a house for my wolves here, so I don't always have to spawn the different wolves and then get the right ones and then just name them and stuff like that. Hey, you two. So yeah, I'd like to thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this lengthy video, but it was by far one of my more smoother running videos. And the only reason why it took this long is instead of just showing you guys the basic build, I decided to freestyle it a little bit and add a few details I'd like to have on my little log cabin whenever I do get one. So yeah. But of course, the log cabin I will build in like a survival world will definitely make use of all the different furniture mods I have installed. So yeah, I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Hello. And yeah, bye bye.